Hello. I often get asked this question of how do I design my courses? And I wish I had some amazing systematic way that I design my courses, but it all starts with paper and pencil, and for me just like messy work. I call it my messy design to get to an organized course. And you'll notice my syllabus is right on the screen and it looks all perfect and professional, but it takes a lot of work just to get to that point. Before I can get to that point, again, I'm at my desk, I'm writing, I'm pulling pieces, I'm interviewing people, I'm brainstorming, I'm researching. I look at the methodologies, the trends, the videos. I read a ton of books, ton of articles just to try to figure out where does the course begin. So hopefully once you have kind of the nuts and bolts of your syllabus and you've got a description, you've got some objectives, you've got an overview, or you know where it fits into your curriculum, then you can really get started. So once I can kind of get a rough outline of the syllabus and the syllabus kind of drives it, I really start with kind of my files and everything else that is going to build this course and help you stay organized. You'll notice that the course I'm working on right now, there's your course, but then also I've got my HCD, which is the one I'm going to talk to you about. So I try to stay organized. I put everything into a folder. So the other thing that I think about that's also in my folder are some other files that I have open are I have an overview of, for us, we have domains and tenants within our courses at ASU. And I know that my assessments have to match the goals of the course. So my course is designed to teach a certain skill level so students can move on to the next course. So I have to look at several documents to make sure my assessments line up to what my students should be learning. So when I'm getting started with all of this, I use a Google Sheet. And in my Google Sheet, I love Google Sheets because there's tons of different pieces in here that I can use, and it's all in one file. So let me talk to you about my Google Sheet real quick because this is the nuts and bolts behind my course. So what I do is I start off with, and this is never filled out all the way. I'll show you the blank one. This is the way the blank one looks. This is usually the way I start. And then from there, I start plugging things in. So I'll usually start with my topics and what, is a course of 15 week, is a 16 week at ASU. We have 15 weeks and 7.5 weeks. So I always put 16 in there because if I need to have a final, that's when the final comes in. But I start this way. So I start with my topics. And then I think about the lesson overview. What's the goal of each lesson? And people always say to me, why don't you use a Google Doc? I use a Google Sheet because I can see everything at one time. So then I start looking at the objectives. What's the objective for each piece? And I bounce around. And the nice thing about a Google Sheet is I can see the alignment and to make sure everything is working together. So from here, I will start looking at recordings or readings or videos. I'll look at all those important pieces, and then what happens, let me show you this one because this is a built out version. So in this one, you get to see how it looks as I'm designing and developing. So once I have all of this info and it's all kind of coming together, and if you're wondering, how did I get these returns in there? If you hit your Alt key and enter, you can actually move all of this around. So that way you get those hard returns. People are always like, I hate Excel or I hate Google Sheets because it doesn't function, doesn't flow the way I want it to. But I've learned that this gives me a nice map to see how everything is blending and working together. And for me, this is the easiest way in developing my initial course. So once I build this out and I've got every piece, so we'll focus on these first three. Let me introduce you to my Google Doc, and this shows you what the built out version or the design version of the course looks like. So before I go into Canvas, I have a document that has everything in it. So again, if you look at this, module overview, objectives, the readings, again, if I jump back here, it's the same stuff here. All I did was copy it and move it over. So now from here, I can go in, and I always put in, like for these videos, I put in the embed frames. So that way I can embed them directly into Canvas from this document. So I work directly from this document and everything flows from there. My final course looks like this. So when I go in, this is the way my course looks. So modules, and then if I go into each one, hopefully I'll have enough time to do that before my video runs out. If I go into this one, this is the way the final course looks, already set up just from there. I hope this was helpful.